Welcome. You are listening to the Uncensored Chatter podcast, powered by Pina Viga Universal Media. The thoughts, ideas, and suggestions of Gage Kirby, or any conservative, does not accurately reflect the reality of the person or situation discussed by Gage Kirby or any conservative. We do not advocate for or promote the hate speech, racism, anti-LGBTQ+, and/or any far-right thought, idea, suggestion, comment, statement, and/or misinformation that Gage Kirby and the conservatives presents in their various statements and communications. Gage Kirby does not represent or is affiliated with this podcast, and his statements are his own responsibility. Pina Vega Universal Media is not responsible for the welfare of Gage Kirby or any conservative who may appear on this podcast, or how individuals will react to their personal ideologies and political motivations. Thank you. Listener discretion is advised. This is the Uncensored Chatter podcast with your host, Shinai An.
On go Loki and the Yacht Collector. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Derivative. Derivative.
Is art good just because the right people say it's good? Yes. That's how it works.
Damien is far worse than how he presents himself. He stalked and harassed a friend of mine and constantly sent very unwanted pictures, and he came to the defense of a guy who raped and sexually assaulted another person I know, and went so far as to harass the victim into silence. Completely unhinged.
Okay, well here's the thing, do you have any evidence at all? Like, at all? For such a claim? If you have some, please present it to the jury, so that they may appraise it as well. Instead of just saying, "Totes believe me, bro, he did this." Now, I think anyone is capable of fundamentally anything in their past. I guarantee at least one or two everyone has at least one or two fucking skeletons in their closet that they look at with a lot of disgust and shame because they did something stupid in the heat of the moment, or they did something when they were young and ignorant and weren't thinking about the consequences. But the fact is, if you have nothing at all to present, aside from the words, "Totes believe me, bro, this happened," a person I know that you don't know, that you cannot determine their likelihood of being able to be 100% truthful, said this happened. So believe me, bro. You don't understand how ridiculous that is when you're trying to say, "Believe me because I just told you." No. A person cannot believe you just because you fucking tell them, because the problem is when you tell them something with no proof, it just makes it that much harder to believe because you're supplying no substance to the claims you're stating. I mean, here's the thing. If you want people to treat you the same way that you're treating Damien right now, it means that I can say you're a rapist with no proof, flippantly, and if anyone is so inclined to believe that I am a credible source, and they come after you for that, even though I'm obviously saying it just for the sake of an example, you don't realize that by doing that, you're setting a very dangerous precedent, because it means that a person can accuse someone of anything with no proof, and if someone's stupid enough to believe them at face value, they may intend to do something about it. Seriously. Belief without evidence is one of the dumbest things a person can ever do, because it means they're willing to try to take someone down, all because of the words of a third party that they cannot verify to be true. Now, if you're willing to present evidence to people, and actually allow people to appraise that evidence as is, then that would definitely be a lot more useful than just saying, "My friend of a 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 friend told me he did this." It doesn't help. You're not helping your case. You're not building any substantive argument against anyone in the fucking room or against their character if you're basically just saying, "Totes believe me, bro. Someone else told me he'd do this." And this goes for people that people that I don't fucking like, even people that I can't stand. Even if it was someone that I genuinely dislike, I would prefer not to jump to immediate belief of an accusation, even if I dislike the person who is the subject of the accusation. But who is this person that sexually assaulted someone else you know? It's funny how you don't try to specify who these people are, or explain what these people apparently did and when. You may not feel it's your place, and I'll give you that, but if you're going to make these kind of claims, you need to be willing to decide whether or not you can afford to make those statements with some kind of substantive proof. Because so far as I can tell, you've brought nothing to the table to be looked at and examined by anyone. If you have something that can be brought to the table to be examined, very well, but it needs to be able to be viewed by more than like one or two people, where you can basically just say, see, someone told me, someone said this, someone did this, he did this, someone told me. No. Because the problem is, if a person's inclined to believe someone's a credible source, they will believe anything that person tells them, as long as it seems plausible in reality. I just don't, I don't get it. I don't get how it is people can buy this shit, because it's like, well, someone told me this. Someone else told me that. And? Is that supposed to be credible? Are people supposed to look at this and believe it at face value? Because I can't. I can't believe it at face value. And the reason I can't believe it at face value is because it seems unreliable. It seems unreliable. Because I'm not being given any evidence or any information to cross-examine and look at for myself to determine whether or not it seems plausible. And if I can't evaluate it myself to determine whether or not it's true, then it means fucking nothing. Because you're basically saying things with literally nothing to back up the accusation, except for your own words. And the words of a stranger who I've never spoken to are not nearly as reliable as a person who I've known for years, where it seems like their character completely conflicts with the story you're trying to tell me. If you have something to bring to the table, bring it to the table. Otherwise, don't fucking bother.